Welcome all our August 6th of the county public session meeting. You want to make a motion to last month's minutes?
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Andrew, you're up. How are you?
Good afternoon. Hello, everyone. The first thing we have is a pre-resolution memorandum to accept $20,926.92 from Indigent Legal Services Distribution 12. The second is to amend and increase our 2025 public defender budget by $120,625 for the purpose of paying attorney fees ordered by the Appellate Division, 3rd Department for our appeals in Saratoga County.
Andrew, any questions for Andrew? I'll make a motion. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
What do you?
Good afternoon. I'm here to introduce to you Anthony Pernicero, who's been a deputy coroner with us for 10 years. When Dave DeSalle stepped down, he stepped up. He's been with me for 10 years. I have faith in him completely. And I'm going to let him just say a few words.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you to the Public Safety Committee. Again, Susie said, my name is Anthony Pernicero. I've been a funeral director for over 30 years, and I've been with the coroner's office as a deputy coroner for 10 years. This time I'm wanted to be a full-time deputy coroner, so I'm looking to do that. I think the most important thing that we do as coroners is first and foremost, with dignity and respect, we take care of our dead. We also have to deal with the families. We have to deal with them with compassion and care. And then most importantly, we have to deal with law enforcement, being professional and detailed with them. So that's our job, and I'm willing to do that full time. And I ask for your support. I thank you.
Thank you.
You want to make a motion to appoint Anthony? So moved. Second.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Welcome aboard.
Hey.
Don't come and visit any of us.
Well, it's okay if we don't see it.
You want me again?
Yep.
I'm here to, about the updated amendment or renewal of Albany Med's contract. The terms of the contract have not changed since 2024. They have stayed the same. It's $2,000 to walk in, and then they have additional, well, they don't have additional, but it's $2,000 to bring a case in, and it's not to exceed $30,000. We have not brought any in this year at all. That's our last resort. So I ask for your support of the renewal for Albany Med's.
Any questions for Susan?
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
You're all.
Chairman, supervisors, my first item, looking for a resolution to amend Resolution 83 of 2025 to change the dates in regards to the contract we have with Trinity Service that supply food services at the jail. The term of the agreement shall be for a term of 3 years, commencing March 1, 2025, instead for a term of 3 years, commencing upon the execution of the agreement.
Any questions for the sheriff? I'd like to make a motion. Second.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
Next resolution, authorize a new contract with the Department of Navy for the loan of thermal imaging and night vision equipment for use by my office. The equipment has been utilized for the past 7 years by the Sheriff's Office Special Operation Team.
Seems like we just approved that. I can't. believe it.
And 7 years.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
Next resolution to accept additional funding from the Stop DWI High Visibility Engagement Campaign, authorizing for an amendment for that funding. And also that'll be part of our drug recognition DRE call out court time plan and approving contracts with the local partnering agencies in the county. It's an amount of $10,000.
I'll move that.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
My last item, looking for a resolution to authorize the chairman of the board to enter into a 3-year contract with Insight Public Sector, Inc. to provide services related to the implementation and support of text to 911 for the Saratoga County Sheriff's Office, PSAP, for the amount of $97,159.96, subject to the approval of the county attorney.
Any questions on that, Mr. Sheriff? On the motion?
Don't move.
Second. Second. Favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Chairman.
Chairman Barrett.
Thank you, Chairman. I just wanted to address the committee today on a very important topic. A few weeks ago, it was announced that we would be looking to bring forward to the Public Safety Committee and eventually our colleagues on the Board of Supervisors an animal abuse registry. Why is that important? It's important because of some of the abhorrent behavior that we've witnessed in different parts of the county. Unfortunately, this is incredibly, it's incredibly difficult to describe or try to understand people that do this type of thing. But we've seen some extreme cases of abuse, and we need to step forward and be more aggressive, make sure that we're doing everything possible as a county to protect animals that can't speak for themselves. The other concern about it, and I think this is going to lead to a more comprehensive, larger approach. I think the animal abuse registry is the first step. But in speaking with the sheriff, my colleagues, Kelly Duvall at the animal shelter, and I want to say Kelly and her team, incredible job. I mean, to get over 50 dogs in that condition, and you know, they're responsible for getting them cleaned up and cared for and placed in a safe home. Incredible job. So I want to thank her, and her team. But in talking to DSS as well, you know, the other issue is people that are inclined to engage in this behavior with animals are more likely to engage in this behavior with children, because in both cases they can't speak for themselves. So I think we need a more comprehensive, multi-step approach. I think the animal abuse registry is that first step to do everything we can to protect animals. I wish we didn't have to do this. I wish it wasn't something that was happening, but when we saw what was happening at Time for Paws, which was a former establishment kennel down in Half Moon, and we came out with this soon thereafter, and unfortunately there's been even larger numbers in individual cases in other municipalities. So I think the time is right and somewhat timely on the heels of what happened in the town of Milton. But we need to move forward, do it as quickly as possible, have a public hearing and get this registry as part of the toolkit for the district attorney's office to make sure that these people are clearly identified publicly for everybody, and it will restrict them in many ways, as you see in the proposed local law. I have a couple of speakers that are here today to speak on this topic as well. One of them is Sheriff Zerlo. I asked Sheriff Zerlo to come to the meeting today to give us an update and provide any helpful information for you at this time. So, Sheriff?
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon again. I'm just gonna highlight some of the cases that we've had since March in this county. And I want to also recognize a couple of my deputies that worked on all 5 of these cases, Deputy Volger and Deputy Leah Howell. Both female deputies that I've sent for training to the animal cruelty classes in Albany County. We also hosted one a couple months ago at our county. So they, for each of the ones I'm going to go over, they were instrumental in working on these cases along with my criminal investigation unit. I also want to say kudos to Kelly at the animal shelter and her staff. I mean, they were inundated with this last case of 57 golden retrievers over there. They worked hand in hand with my agencies and these 2 deputies to try to find foster homes and rescue throughout the eastern seaboard. So these dogs that I'm going to talk about, the Goldens, are placed all over the place. But the first example will be the town of Corinth, March 24th. 1 adult arrest, 9 misdemeanor counts. We successfully rescued 6 horses, 1 pig, and 1 goat. Town of Half Moon, June 24th of this year, 1 adult arrest, 14 felony counts of animal abuse. An additional arrest was also made with the help of my partner, Craig Apple in Albany County. He worked in hand with us in that. Town of Half Moon, Times for Paws, June 26th, 2025, 1 adult arrest, 2 misdemeanors, 20 plus canines, and 4 cats were successfully rescued. Town of Half Moon, A Time for Paws, July 9th, 2025. 1 adult arrest, 2 felony counts that had to deal with the death of a pit bull that was in their custody. And the last one we had, Town of Milton, on July 21st, 2 adult arrests, 110 misdemeanor counts of bags and market animal cruelty. 53 canines were successfully rescued. So kudos to my staff, and I am in total support of this animal abuse registry. I think it's well needed. And as the chairman says, we have no idea why these people do this. I honestly I think the consequences are have to be ramped up a little bit. And we're looking at all misdemeanors here. So these people know what they're getting into and they know what the consequences are going to be. So thank you for the time and thanks for having me.
Thank you for speaking, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff. I appreciate that update. And that gives you a little idea of the numbers that we're talking about with the cases, along with the charges and where things stand. First person I had this conversation with was Brett Eby, who I am supporting and hopeful will be our next district attorney. This registry will be implemented and managed by the district attorney's office. And it'll be up to the district attorney to make sure that it's maintained correctly and in a professional manner. And somebody having this discussion with Brett about this idea, I thought it was a tremendous idea. And it was obvious to me with the incredible amount of information he had already collected and his passion about this subject before we even talked about it. It was clear to me that he was more than prepared to already implement this and is eager to do so. So I'm going to allow Brett to talk a little bit about it, because I think he knows more about it than all of us.
Good afternoon, everybody. I know Supervisor Lant keeps these these meetings very efficient, so we're already. I don't want to get blamed for this running into overtime, but I just want to thank the members for having me here today. My name is Brett Eby.
Thank you for coming.
Of course, thank you for having me. On July 22nd, I called for the creation of this animal abuse registry. Since that time, we've had an outpouring of support for it. Sadly, we've also seen more examples for why this is needed. The people that Sheriff Zerlo, the abusers that he just highlighted, there's nothing stopping them from walking in to any of these rescues and adopting the very pets they were just arrested for abusing. So with that said, I urge this committee to move this registry forward. You know, if I'm elected to be the district attorney in November, you know, that office would gladly carry through all the work as far as setting up the registry, monitoring it, and distributing it to local rescues to make sure we can, play our part in preventing abuse going forward. So I want to thank Chairman Barrett for his leadership, and also Giuliano Fabo, Tony Morelli, Tim Mosman, and many others have been advocating for this as well. So I want to thank everyone for their time. And how'd I do, John? Good.
Great. Chairman, I want to thank you for moving this forward.
Yeah, so I think time is of the essence, as I mentioned. I have one more gentleman that I'd like to speak, and that is my deputy supervisor. Thankfully, I don't think any of us have been victim of this, but he has. And I think it's important to hear from somebody firsthand who has, he and his very beloved pet has been a victim of a recent situation, and very difficult. A lot of people drop their pets off when they go out of town, and you think they're in good care. And when you're out of town and you find out that's not the case, that's a very scary situation. So Anthony Morelli.
Thanks, Chairman. Thanks for having me, and I will be brief. As Sheriff Zerlo mentioned, he alluded to July 9th at a time for pause. So I have a 100-pound golden retriever, Tucker. Absolutely part of the family. Been going to time for pause for about 5 years. Of course, as Murphy's Law, we're on vacation on July 9th. We just arrived in Hawaii the day before, 4,500 miles away, and I see the press release when I wake up. I reached out to your deputy. I reached out to our animal control officer and was absolutely horrified. My kids woke up. My teenage daughters are in tears. What's going on with Tucker? We got him out of there. We had some friends that were able to get him out of there. He was certainly dehydrated. You could tell he was stressed. Got him home. He's doing fine. The issue is he's been going there for about 4 or 5 years. So what's been going on at that place for all those years? Certainly, we've taken some steps as a family, as anyone else would. We'll, if we put him in boarding again, I don't know if I can go on vacation again, according to my daughters, but if we board him again, we'll certainly do a little more due diligence. But, as a pet owner, being involved in government in town of Clifton Park, how do we learn from this? How do we move forward? How do we ensure it doesn't happen again to Tucker, to anyone else's pet? I know there's a lot of pet owners in this room, and I think the first step is the abuse registry that Brett spoke of. So I think we really, this was a wake-up call for me as a pet owner, as a wake-up call for me as a town board member in the town of Clifton Park. I've talked to our animal control officer, and this isn't, we knew there was some stuff going on there that wasn't okay, and we really hadn't gotten the evidence that was necessary to really move forward. And once we had it, of course, the sheriff's department did move forward on it. But how do we make sure this person doesn't put up shop somewhere else? How do we ensure the person in Milton doesn't go down to Half Moon and then advertise some other services? You do it by having a registry that's public, that is administered, that anyone can go in and review, who's involved with animals, and make sure this person isn't on that registry. Just like Chairman Barrett talked about with children. I'm involved in family court a lot. There's a registry for things like sex offenders and orders of protection, things along those lines that you check and review before you make certain decisions. We need the same thing for our animals. In many families, like many of yours, and certainly in mine, our animals are pretty important to us, and we want to know, and we certainly just want to learn from this situation. So I think moving this forward will allow us to learn, take the necessary first steps. I appreciate the opportunity to speak before this subcommittee, and I hope that we can move it forward here at the county. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morelli. So I do want to, thank Chairman Lant very much for his support. The supervisors, where we have had instances in recent months, Mr. Butler, Mr. Ostrander, Mr. Tollison, they've been incredibly supportive. And as Brett mentioned, we've had just an outpouring of support from throughout the county. So I thank you all for your consideration. Appreciate it. And like I said, we'll be coming forward with more. steps, but I think this is a great first step. Thank you, Chairman.
Anybody got any questions?
I just want to say that I'm actually really surprised that we don't already have this, so I think, thanks for bringing it forward. I think it's long overdue probably. So
I want to make a motion.
Can I ask?
I'll make the motion.
I have a question. How many registries are there in New York?
It's about, I think it's low twenties from what my estimate.
And they're all county registries. I mean, the state doesn't have anything.
No, I know Senator Cisco is pushing for a statewide registry, but there's a public website that has, I think it's in the low 20s, 22, 23. I don't know how accurate that is, but
Just curious how why the state wasn't.
yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why it hasn't had traction.
Just something question.
No.
Thank you.
Good.
Supervisor Young made a motion, someone second. it?
Oh, I don't-
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. It's a great thing you folks used to believe in. Any other business?
Motion to adjourn.
Sorry I took so long, but.
You're slipping, John. You're slipping.
You know, Thank you all.
I think it's the chairman's fault.
Yeah.